Hey everybody, and welcome back to some more Civilizations Warhammer style. We are playing as the wonderful, wonderful, and beautiful Skaven, and today I'm going to start just talking very lightly about what the heck is a Skaven. What are these little... Ooh. That's not a border, is it? No, it's just the coast. What are these little rat men? Well, let's talk briefly about Skaven biology. We're going to be learning science. The Skaven are a group of bipedal, 4 to 5 foot tall, or 2.5 to 3 meters, I believe. I don't know, to be honest. Ratmen. They were birthed in the Old World and were originally part of a Beastmen codex, i.e. they were just a stable mutation of the Beastmen. That has been retconned. The Skaven are now their own race, and they do their own race things. But for quite a long while, the Skaven were just simply Beastmen. So, what do Skaven do? How do they think? What do the Skaven do? Well, to put it simply, Skaven just like to be Skaven. There's nothing that a Skaven likes more than being a Skaven. In fact, he is a Skaven so good that all other Skaven suck at being a Skaven. What do I mean? Skavens are born narcissists. They absolutely, 100%, without a doubt, believe, beyond even the shreddest of pure evidence that they may have caused, that they are the bee's knees. That Skavens are just like the most incredible, beautiful, and amazing creatures, and he is the top of that food chain. I really want to drive this point home because it is very integral to learning about the Skaven. There is nothing that a Skaven believes more than he is the most incredible thing ever. Very important. I just want to drive that home because it will be very, very, very important in times to come as we continue our talks about the Skavens. Now, the Skaven, just like rats, kind of have multiple layers of teeth, generally with the two large incisors in the front, and greatly enjoy eating things. They have a super heavy metabolism, super, super, super heavy. Because of this, it is quite common. Did that not count as finding them? Oh, what the hell? There we go. Nice, 30 gold. I just want these city-states to see me first before I keep moving, because, you know, it would be quite nice. And if they see me, then I get extra points for killing the barbarians near them. Anyways, because of this super heavy metabolism, the average Skaven can eat just a god-awful amount. And it creates a super, I don't want to say a super economy, but it creates an economy that can be based off industrialization much quicker than any other culture. Now, you might be saying, well, what do you mean by that? Well, think about it. Us humans, we can go to long periods of starvation. You know, you could eat maybe 1,500, hey, even 1,500 calories a day, and although you'd lose weight, you'd be fine. If that happened to a Skaven, he would die. They can exert huge amounts of energy for short periods of time, just like rats can, and, you know, just do incredible feats of strength that the little average Skaven with his tiny, tiny little body would not normally be able to do. However, this will kill him unless he eats a lot to make up for it, and I mean a lot. He has to just, like, chow down. Let me think real quick on this. I could come down here. Let's see. I don't know if there's any fish down here. There are not. Yeah, I'd rather be up here close to this hill. It's okay. I delayed that second city by a couple of seconds, but I'm not too worried about it. And I'd like to see if there's something up here. So let's go check up here real quick. I'll just send my settler over, and we should be good. Nice. Anyways. This means that the Skaven had to quickly develop the idea of industrialization, because if they did not, they would die. There's no way around it. They would all starve to death. So, this created immediate hostility between them and the other races, because they just simply had to find something to eat. There's no way around it. If they didn't find something to eat, they were all going to die very, very quickly. This led to them just pretty much enslaving anybody and anything they could find. And acts of cannibalism, horrible, horrible attacks on other races and animals simply because they had to feed. And may have been, if we're thinking about it from purely scientific reasoning, why the Skaven... I want to settle on this hill. And then I'm going to buy that tile real quick. It'll be a small city, but that's okay. Because it will have silver, cotton, stone, sheep. That's not bad. And it will be near a mountain, on a hill. That's pretty dang good. Those guys should be safe. Oh, and it will have another silver if I buy that tile real quick. Buy 2 tiles. Do I have the money for it? Oh, I have a lot of money. Yeah. Alright, I do want to get to work on these pyramids, though, pretty dang quick. Pretty dang quick. Let's get you up here to start working on this cotton. Or, sorry, this copper. Now, as I was saying, the Skaven are also a highly religious faction. Just like... Sure, whatever. Just like many of the Warhammer factions. Perhaps the only Warhammer faction that could be thought of as being slightly unreligious would be the Ogres. But they're still pretty gosh darn religious. I mean, everybody has to be, because gods and demons and things in the Warhammer world do exist. So you gotta be a little careful with that stuff. Anyways, they believe in a deity known as the Horned Rat. And this kind of, again, could be seen, if we were approaching it from a purely scientific standpoint, as a way of describing their regular mutations, because not all Skaven are born alike. In fact, it's quite common for many Skaven to have many small varying mutations throughout their bodies, such as horns, for instance. That's quite a common one, actually. Well, I shouldn't say common, but it's quite a renowned mutation. It is a stable mutation, but still a mutation. If you do have horns, you are kind of set for greatness. It doesn't mean that you will be great, and quite commonly, Skaven will eat each other just to stop somebody from being too good at something. But it is common for Skavens to simply say, you're a big black rat, you have to be a warrior. Or, you're a big brown rat, you're also a warrior. Or, you're a tiny black rat, you should be an assassin. Those types of things. So your size really does matter. And you can also be born into a life of slavery. Let's hope that never happens to anyone, but it can be done. Alright, I need to buy these tiles before the city-states mess with me. Hello, thanks for giving me gold for buying up these tiles. Excellent. There is a lot of crap over here. Anyways, let's get to work on the pyramids real quick. Pyramids? I didn't even want to scroll for it, because I'm lazy. But I took 7 turns to build... yeah, knocked off a turn. It would have taken me 15 turns to build the pyramids before the stoneworks, and now I have them, so that's quite good. And also, let's buy this tile to put copper in. Excellent. Next turn we can begin that, and we'll grab optics, just because we do have a lot of ocean-going cities right now. Excellent. So let's talk about stable mutations within the Skavendom. As I mentioned earlier, they're about 4 to 5 foot tall in general. Some Skaven can get much larger, between 6 to even sometimes some of them have pushed 7 feet. Now this is a very rare mutation, but sometimes it does happen. Don't think that a lot of Skaven are that large. In fact, that is definitely the minority. However, you can be born without fur, you could be born with patchy fur, you could be born with all colors of the rainbow fur. But in general, it's believed that if you're big, black, and brown, that you should generally be a soldier rat. If you're small, with patchy fur, then you're either a clan rat or a slave rat. And there are a lot of slave rats. In fact, I'll just say it right now, the Skaven are the most populous race in the Warhammer fantasy universe. There are so many Skaven, and they are just like so hungry that it is nearly impossible for them all to survive without going to war or acts of cannibalism. So being a clan rat or a slave rat is very dangerous, mostly because you could be eaten. And of course there are other professions within Skavendom, as I like to call it, Skavendom. The first one being, as I mentioned, soldiers, slaves, farmers. Female rats, I'll talk about briefly, are generally not mentioned, though we believe they are known as the breeders. Well, not a very poetic name, but hey, that's what you get. The breeding rats are pretty much just hulking behemoths, which produce hundreds and hundreds of Skaven. Kind of think of it as a queen ant and a lot of little baby ants. That's what we believe. We're not really quite sure, but I lean more towards that. Now, you guys might be asking, well, you've told us that the Skaven, what they kind of look like, how they go about their daily lives. They are extremely technologically advanced, I should also say, but, demands ivory, okay. That scared me. I thought somebody else had built the pyramids. Almaty! Oh, I'm going to steal some workers, actually. Yes, sirree. And let's grab writing now, because I'll start building my librillis. Can I build this? Didn't think so. Alright, let's go over there. And can I buy a lighthouse? No. Soon, though. Soon. Excellent. I'll just have it build a lighthouse. Everything's going well. Soon we'll have, what, 2 more workers? How many workers does this give me? Ah, and 2 workers. Excellent. That will give us 1 for each city, pretty much. That's okay. Hey, no problem, homie. Look, we're just mythical Skaven. There's no reason to get worried about us. Another thing worth mentioning about the Skaven, just while we're talking briefly about their biology and kind of their workings within the world, a lot of the races in the Warhammer world do not believe that the Skaven exist. And by races, I mean countries. Several of the races flat out know that the Skaven are real. The dwarves have just huge amounts of proof from actually fighting them and murdering hundreds and hundreds of Skaven that the Skavens are real. There's a lot of Skaven, they're not very good. They ruin things. All hail Skavendom. The humans, although having huge amounts of proof that Skaven are real, continually refuse to believe that there are indeed Skaven, for reasons completely unknown. But examples of this are in Bretonia, the human French, the quote-unquote French area of humandom, where the Skaven continually rise up and steal the peasants and these types of things. They just flat out don't believe Skaven are real. I don't know why. They just think that it's something to scare children. Same could be said about the Empire, although the Skaven have risen many times and sometimes even attacked the Empire in mass. The humans basically don't believe that the Skaven exists. They think that they're just a weird version of beastmen that come around and screw things up. Now, I'm assuming that you guys know a little bit about the lore, but just in case you don't, beastmen are mutants and creatures of chaos that came into the world with the first coming of the Dark Powers. The Dark Powers are basically, as I mentioned, chaos. They're just all the bad things that go on within the world. Whether they be demons, monsters, beastmen, trolls, giants, griffins, all these things. Basically all the fantasy elements within the world at one point kind of came from chaos. Now there were some creatures that existed on the world before chaos cometh, but they didn't really... What am I building here? Why did I just build a scout? I meant to build an archer. That was my mistake. Oh well. Scout, I'm going to say that I did that on purpose. Go Scout. Scout, go Scout. I will call you Scout, and you will be my Scout. Excellent. We'll grab that up. Everybody should be finishing their round of production in a couple of turns, and then we'll just all start building libraries. And it will be good. And it will be good. Excellent. You guys will be working on this. And let's see here. Oh, but besides that, guys, that's another episode done. If you haven't noticed already, I've set up a little timer to try and keep these right about at 15 minutes. It'll probably be like 15, 16 minutes each episode. Who cares? But in wrapping up, Skaven, 4 to 5 foot tall, depends heavily on your race. Not race, excuse me, but the color of your fur depends heavily on what you are. You're very hungry. You have lots of teeth. You're incredibly intelligent and narcissistic. You despise all other Skaven because you believe that you are the best Skaven. And you greatly enjoy others' pain. And that's about it. That's what Skaven are. That's their biology. That's their id. Anyways, next episode, the history of the Skaven. Another mystery shrouded in the fog of time. Alright, I'll see you guys soon.